So I am a descendant of slaves from Austin, Texas. My family members were brought here to this city to farm, to do agriculture, right? So when we talk about what was done here, I brought this book. This my book of receipts on the city of Austin during South by Southwest, where they make millions of dollars. I like to be paid. This right here is urban slavery in the Southwest, and on the inside of this 300-page document that I used my money to print, that's why I like to be paid. It talks about how disrespected Black people were as slaves here in Austin, Texas. Then I also have the City of Austin 1928 plan. Grab that, because it's going down. The City of Austin 1928 plan, where they segregated the city and put all the Black people in one district. That totally eliminated our Black farming communities here. So then I also have this email that I wrote and I sent out on February 5th, 2021. The subject is institutional racism against Black farmers in Austin, Texas, Travis County. And it says, good morning all. This email is meant to inform and express my anger, disappointment, and trauma on record concerning the institutional racism within the City of Austin and Travis County's agricultural infrastructure, food policy board, food system, food access initiatives, training and programming, which explicitly disrespects, excludes, and exploits the hard work and efforts of today's Black farmers, the descendants of American slaves that built this community. Today we endure these atrocities while facing failing access to COVID-19 vaccines and health care support east of IH-35. My name is Tiffany Washington. I'm a 36-year-old born and raised Austinite who has seen firsthand the covert racism of this city. I'm a Black farmer, a service-disabled combat veteran, and mother of 4 Black children struggling to simply feed my neighbors. I currently own and operate a small-scale agribusiness in Northeast Austin, Texas, District 1. My services support Colony Park, University Hills, Pecan Springs, Martin Luther King, and Springdale to Airport Boulevard, neighborhoods 78724, 2321, and 02. These historically Black neighborhoods have become blatantly gentrified communities embedded with the effects of COVID-19, crime, violence, homelessness, and a lack of resource supporting marginalized families being overlooked as local developers continue to push them out. In my time here as a farmer, I have worked tirelessly to the point of exhaustion and been triggered on several occasions by the actions of local leadership, nonprofit organizations, and institutions that have brushed aside my service, credibility, and support from within the community. Whether it is a matter of tokenizing my voice or throwing a dog bone to silence me, the discrimination is clear. Unless I act accordingly with grace and kindness for my oppressor, my needs as a Black farmer in a community where Black farmers do not exist, you all could care less about the lack of equity held by myself, let alone Black people whose families have called Austin home for over 170 years. I refuse to stand by and accept this city's liberal abuse agendas quietly any longer. The Black farming communities of Austin, Texas were destroyed purposefully by policy, gatekeeping, and structural racism that falls in line with the removal of Black farmers from the land across the United States. This is nothing new. The implementation of programs that pretend to uplift marginalized communities by training new and beginning farmers in agriculture and leadership, such as Urban Roots and Farm Share Austin, have not done the work necessary to warrant the large sums of grant funding which flow through their hands year after year. I have become an inspiration and trusted confidant within my community and have shouldered the burden of their complaints on my own. As a Farm Share alumni, I can testify to the lack of verbal open support from myself, Black farmers, and others who seem to be left with little to no outreach during this COVID-19 pandemic. I can testify to the number of young Black men who have participated in Urban Roots and who've gone on to find themselves in the juvenile justice system or prison. because they could not find agricultural-focused jobs due to racial injustice, fund their own agribusinesses due to the lack of access to land and capital, and who were not taught the value of agriculture in Black communities, that of which every Black Wall Street ever bombed, literally or through policy in America, depended upon. Our children have been used for the financial gains of others, period. I share these sentiments on the aftermath of a Food Policy Board Working Group meeting in February 2nd, 2021, during Black History Month, that completely disrespected Black, Mexican, and Native American farmers while discussing the Urban Farm Ordinance, land acknowledgement, and an agrarian land trust proposed by a former farmer of La Flaca Farm and new policy board member, a board in which I applied to with letters of recommendation, yet did not receive a phone call in regards to. As the only Black farmer in attendance, I was triggered as I listened to a Mexican-American immigrant discuss creating a sharecroppers trust on Native soil with not one Native American on the call. In the summer of 2020, as COVID ripped our community apart, I expressed to her that this would need to go into the community and gain support from Mexican Americans. I wasn't heard. I myself had to listen as agri-hoods were discussed with the knowledge that these progressive liberal ideas are intended for the County Park District. The urban farm communities ran by white farmers in our hoods, such as Boggy Peak Farm, have never been referred to as agri-hoods. It's appalling. Regardless of my efforts to remain open and supportive of these people and programs by sharing or promoting them on my platforms with no reciprocity, while overlooking the trauma caused to me by them, I persevere among soft-handed allyship, finding my passion in my work while shining a light on this grave dilemma. The city of Austin got me messed up.
So I want to just be respectful of time, and I know you have a lot to say.
And the city of Austin got me messed up.
Yeah, I will let you take a breather, and I want to be respect on everyone's time. And I know that this is so important in the Austin level, but I also want to bring it back to the nation itself. And Karen, I wanted to talk to you about the space you came into in the farming, and what happened. Where did you see yourself, and where do you see it going right now at this time for Black farmers?
First of all, I want to commend Tiffany for having the strength